Tell your children to pray when they are 7 and hit them when they are 10.
The Ali Hadith's website directs readers to literature which says Islam confers equal rights upon all, regardless of sex. But in a crackly internet broadcast, Abu Usama says women are deficient.
Allah created the woman, even if she gets a PhD, deficient. Her intellect is incomplete, deficient. She may be suffering from hormones that will make her emotional. It takes 2 witnesses of a woman to equal the 1 witness of the man.
Saudi-based clerics in the video links preach male supremacy.
Men are in charge of women. Wherever he goes, she should follow him, and she shouldn't be allowed to leave the house without his permission.
Sheikh Al-Jabali says the hijab must be enforced on young girls, if necessary with violence.
By the age of 10, it becomes an obligation on us to force her to wear hijab. And if she doesn't wear hijab, we hit her.
Our reporter secretly filmed this preacher, Dr. Bilal Phillips, giving religious rulings at Green Lane. In a speech in the mosque, which was also broadcast at its internet chat room, he claims marrying off a girl before puberty is permissible. He claims the Prophet Muhammad married a 9-year-old girl, so it's permissible now.
The Prophet Muhammad practically outlines the rules regarding marriage prior to puberty. With his practice, he clarified what is permissible, and that is why we shouldn't have any issues about an older man marrying a younger woman, which is looked down upon by the society today. But we know that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ practiced it. It wasn't abuse or exploitation, it was marriage.
Dr. Phillips told us we had quoted him out of context, and he said he was not advocating that Muslims go against the laws of the UK. Muslims living in non-Muslim countries are obliged to abide by the laws of the country. Abu Usama quotes what he says are the words of a companion of the Prophet on the Islamic punishment for homosexuality.
To practice homosexuality with men, take the homosexual man and throw him off the mountain.
And in a DVD, he attacks the idea of gay rights.
They have given them unprecedented rights so that your child can be exposed and introduced to lesbians. Now, they said, if you discriminate against them, you're going to jail.
He says Muslims should discriminate.
Wallahi, we'll discriminate, but we'll discriminate in a way where we don't get in trouble. The Muslim is a dentist. One of those people come and going to take a big needle and stick it in his gum.
Then he says it's a joke, as it might get the mosque into trouble.
Because they'll take this kalam and get us all in trouble.
On the anniversary of the 7th of July bombings, a speech by Abu Usama was broadcast in the Green Lane chat room, condemning terrorism.
I want to make an official statement here. No way are we in agreement to what took place last year on this day in the Kuffar calendar.
But he does believe in jihad.
But in saying that, we do not apologize for any aspect of this deed. There is jihad in Islam. What's the most beloved and favorite thing to Allah? Jihad in fi sabilillah.
He says the real jihad will come when the senior Islamic clerics declare it, and prays it will come soon.
We ask Allah to bring about the means and the ways in which the Muslims will get the power and the honor of repelling the oppression of the kuffar, where we can go out and perform the jihad. We ask Allah to bring that time so that we can be participants in that.
Abu Usama told us Islam allows for any Muslim to peacefully coexist here in the UK with non-Muslims, even though the UK is not an Islamic society. He said he had made it clear that it is a religious duty on all Muslims to obey UK law, and the carrying out of Islamic law could only be done in an actual Islamic state. He said homosexuality is an abomination against Allah and all mankind, and I will never condone it. Even though this is the case, I do not believe in disobeying the law when it comes to the way people deal with homosexuals. A hardline message influenced by Saudi Arabian clerics is preached at Green Lane Mosque in Birmingham. An imam from the mosque has helped advise the government. Abdul Hadi sat on a government task force on extremism, set up after the 7th of July bombings. He was part of its working group on combating extremism in mosques and imams. Yet this DVD shows he took part in a Green Lane conference in which other speakers urged Muslims to discriminate against homosexuals and hit girls who didn't wear the hijab. He seemed to have no worries at the extremism of the message.
It is very hard to conclude such beautiful program, but we have to do.
The head of the working group on mosques and imams was Lord Nazir Ahmed, Britain's first Muslim peer. He's previously praised Green Lane Mosque. In an interview with BBC Radio in 2003, he named it as his favourite spiritual place in the country.
Number 20 Green Lane, Birmingham, is my favourite spiritual place.
He said he'd worshipped there.
This is the most amazing place. When I walk into the mosque, I feel I'm entering the biggest palace on earth.
Lord Ahmed recently said that he would ask the Lord Chancellor to meet an organisation called the Islamic Sharia Council, including its Secretary-General, a preacher called Sheikh Suhaib Hassan. The meeting would be to discuss the introduction of Islamic divorce laws into the UK Constitution. Our reporter secretly filmed Sheikh Hassan speaking at Green Lane Mosque. He's a senior imam at a major mosque in East London and a former president of the Makazi Jamiat Al-Hadith. In a speech downloaded from his mosque website, he proclaims the supremacy of Muslims in encounters with the non-believers.
And Allah permits the virtues of far down and the virtues of believers supreme.
In speeches on other Islamic websites, he predicts the coming of an Islamic state.
Allah has decreed this thing, that I am going to be dominant. The dominance, of course, is the political dominance.
The Islamic State, he predicts, will have a single, lifelong ruler with no opposition parties or elections, and it will bring in a strict version of Islamic law.
The chopping the hands of the thieves, the flogging of the adulterers, and flogging of the drunkards,